All right, bet. And welcome back to another episode of Plug Talk Sports, the first one of 2024. New year, new podcast. Well, not really new podcast, but a new episode. Joined once again by always Jonka Don't Stop, myself, Brandon. And Jonka, we're back, 2024. Any New Year's resolutions going on? Or because I know we talked about before the episode was going on, but anything big going on?
Anything big? Well, we did talk about this before the 2023 ended, but we are going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to announce it next week on the next podcast, so tune in for that. But as of for me, it's a new year, fitness goals, diets and stuff, continue with school and stuff, further on my career, sports continues to go on.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers are on a roll.
Yep.
Hey, I mean, what can I say? It's pretty good as of right now.
Yeah, not too bad. As long as they're not on the gridiron, South Florida sports. I mean, they're on an all-time high right now. I mean, even the Heat are doing something right now.
Facts.
Kid you not. But as we start the new year, let's start off the right way. As always, Jonka, best or worst week? You want to start with the best or the worst?
Best. Let's go best.
Let's go best. You know what? I'll go first because I just thought of this not too long ago. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about this a little bit in the pod. But announced recently, Dwayne Wade had his Hall of Fame night at the Miami Heat, and Pat Riley coming out of nowhere saying, holding a bobblehead, I'm guessing it's going to look just like the bobblehead. He's going to get a statue. The first ever Miami Heat player to be honored with a statue outside of, what do they call it now? The Kansai Center, whatever it's called. Center. I'm still calling it the AAA. It's always going to be the AAA for me. And honestly, when I see that, I'm going to feel old, man. I'm going to feel really old. But for someone that's grown up in South Florida, definitely the first. Honestly, I don't know how many statues there are out there of South Florida teams besides like Dan Marino and Joe Robbie, but very well deserved, though. Definitely a big icon for that one.
Yeah. As for the Dwayne Wade thing, I know we might talk about it later, but I'm just thinking what pose were they thinking they're gonna put him in? Because like are they gonna put him in like when he hit that three and he's like, "This is my house," or they're gonna put that dunk over Varejao, which I think is also legendary.
No, yeah. That's a good point. We're gonna hold that though. We're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold that.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned in the middle of this pod. But John, what about you?
Positives. As if you guys don't know, if you're living under a rock or you're new, my Canes officially, hopefully, Cameron Ward from Washington State transfer has committed to Miami after having declared for the NFL draft. He thinks he's worth a first-round pick. All right, so he's coming back. He's going to work on his skills. Hopefully, go one more year in college and, buff up his stock. So hopefully he can buff up our offense, which I think he's better than TVD, to be honest. Yes. So if he's better than TVD and we went 7-5, potentially 8-4, we just take a knee. But I'm hopeful for next season, even though they usually always let me down, but that doesn't matter. And Dolphins losing. Sorry, Daniel, if you're watching this. The Cowboys having lost. I did warn Daniel about Jordan Love. I told him he's sneaky, and it just happens. It happens to the best of us. My Patriots are. I can't say much because my Patriots suck too. So, um, and that's it. The Dolphins losing, just adding that again.
Yeah, I mean that was a rough one. That's probably if I'm gonna go anything bad. But also before I even go any further, because like Ward is like I gotta say, like good for him, but also you saw his NFL like I'm going to the draft like a quick
Yeah,
like 2 minute like what like 2 seconds. Like why can't everyone be like that? Why does it have to be a whole show for a commitment? You know what I mean? Like a full
facts.
blown text, a long like I just don't understand. Ward, class act doing that, and of course now continuing his career in college for the Hurricanes. But the worst part, before I even go to my worst part, because this is going to go directly into our next topic. What about you, Jonka? Where's the thing from the week?
Worst thing. Worst thing. Man, to be honest, even though I said it in the beginning, but I am starting a diet, and the worst thing is change, and you gotta be eating the natural stuff, the one that doesn't taste as good. You want that burger over the salad. It's sacrifice. It does suck when you see everybody eating good food, and you have to be stuck. Eating a, a chicken breast with broccoli or whatever.
Hey,
It's it's
but
okay.
it's good though. It's good. You know what I mean?
At least we're Cuban, and we season our food. Like
Yeah.
some others, because it's sazón completa. That's all you need. What else sucked? Anything else that sucked? Um, I mean, nah, I don't think that's a suck. But Bill Belichick, also he left my Patriots.
Yep.
I think I would have been fine with him staying, but just knocking him off the general manager role and not having him any influence on the draft stock or any draft in the future. But
Yeah.
maybe it was just time to let him go. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that later, but I don't have to say that.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely we will be talking about Bill Belichick. I mean, and not even that, he's also already interviewing with a few teams as we
With the
speak.
Falcons.
With the Falcons, exactly. So that will be a part of our big NFL, college football type of talk that we'll have probably for this entire first hour. But speaking of which, to begin the first hour, let's go through the worst part of my week. Because, not gonna lie, it wasn't a bad week. We got good weather going on, a free day because of some storm weather, like winds or whatever here in northern Florida for me. But the Miami Dolphins, and for those who know me very best, big Dolphin fan, live basically outside of the stadium. I go and see everything from the Dolphins throughout my entire lifespan of 22 years, whether that be Culpepper, Ryan Tannehill taking body shots, the Kenny Still Jay-Z thing going on. This was just something else. I end up watching this Dolphins on Peacock on a streaming service, one of the most best and historic seasons in Miami Dolphins history, ending on a streaming service with Taylor Swift waving goodbye off Unison. It was terrible. We're talking about a 26-7 score. The Kansas City Chiefs beating out the Miami Dolphins in the last game of Miami's season in the wild card round. Now, this was a game where, again, we talked about negative 27 degrees, playing on the road. For some reason, going with a uniform combo with the white jersey and the aqua pants that's been 0-3 this decade, but they decided to still go for it. Makes no damn sense. It was a tough game to watch, and obviously there was a lot of missing pieces. Half of the starting lineup from defense to offense was missing. Waddle and Mostert, who were out against the Buffalo Bills in the regular season finale, I would probably rather say, against the Buffalo Bills for Miami Dolphins. They're out for that one. They came back in injured. Just wasn't a good game at all. I mean, let alone Tua Tagovailoa. One touchdown, one interception. A terrible interception, mind you. And we're talking about a passing rate of 60 or 66.5 or something like that. It was just terrible. It was really terrible. And I mean, there's not much I can really say about that. It was just a game where it was kind of a trap game. Miami, and I would probably say this a lot because I know Jonka and I have been going back and forth on Twitter about this. The conversation of does Tua get paid? Who's to blame for the loss and the collapse of the Miami Dolphins the last 3 weeks of the season? Because in reality, the last 3 weeks, again, don't define the season, but definitely define, what really went ill for the Miami Dolphins. Injuries, miscues on offense, and unable to take advantage of teams. For me personally, because I know, John, you have a lot to say about this. I know that for a fact. But let me at least go into the topic about Tua Tagovailoa, why he should be paid. Why should he be extended?
Shouldn't
There's
or should?
should.
Okay.
Heavily should be extended.
All right.
Now, the conversation right now with Chris Greer, the GM of the Miami Dolphins, is that we're looking at an extension for a long-term deal, $40 million a year. That's the potential of it. Now, what I would probably say, 30 to 35 million a year, and then have some sort of incentive just in case he wins a playoff game, something like that, maybe an appearance in the AFC Championship game. But the reason why he's even in this conversation, career best numbers, leading passing yards in the NFL, career best touchdown numbers, the best, in my personal opinion, the best season I've ever seen the Miami Dolphins have alive. Again, I'm only 22. You know what I mean? So, like, there's probably Dolphin fans who have been, like, in their 30s, 40s, never seen a Super Bowl. But for me, this is it. Tua Tagovailoa is the best quarterback the Dolphins have had of this century. Sorry, Ryan Tannehill. So is there a reason why you should extend the guy? He hasn't really given you a reason why not. I mean, you're going to look at the past 2 to 3 weeks where half of the starting lineup's gone. Tyreek Hill's missing games. Waddle missing games. Mostert's missing games. I mean, not even that. The O-line, he's dealing with third stringers against the Ravens, against the Bills, the Chiefs. What team in the NFL, and of course, excluding the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs, who I'm talking about, what other team is going through that gauntlet and leaving 1-2 or even 3-0, mind you? There's just no other way I can explain it but the bad hand Tua was given, the bad hand McDaniels in the offense was given, and of course the defense. And don't get me wrong, the defense really did shine out, I would have to say, in the last 3 weeks, despite the fact, blowing up by 37 points and the dwindle with injuries. But don't let that distract you. Don't let the highs of last week or this week where it comes to the playoffs, don't let that become the rearview mirror of your decisions during the offseason. For Chris Greer, I would say extend the man. He deserves it. I believe so.
Okay. Where do you want me to start off first? Because I know.
Well, let's start off, of course, with the game itself that you saw.
Okay.
Not the best game on Peacock, but let's have a starting point there for you.
So the game before it started, I had a feeling that it was going to be a blowout, but I just didn't know for what team. Me and Daniel, we watched it together, and we were both saying, "Hey, listen, this game feels like it can go either way, and it's not going to be close." We didn't know what team would come out because Waddle and Mostert did come back and they were active, so we're like, okay, they're gonna have their weapons. Kansas City hasn't had that momentum offensively the whole season. They've been trying to find their identity. The defense has been good, but it's just kept them in games. So it's like, damn, it's like whoever gets that, that little momentum is gonna win that game. And from what I saw, that opening drive from KC, they just went down the field easily. Pacheco was just a monster, bro. I knew I liked Pacheco, but Pacheco really impressed me that game. He did not want to go down. He was a man like touched by God. I was just in awe. But besides the KC offense, their defense did well. They did what they were supposed to do. Protect home field, that I'm impressed. That's it. KC did what they did. Now getting into the team that we're supposed to be talking about. I'm percentages on who I blame. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna put 50% on Mike McDaniel.
Okay.
25% to a 25% Vic Fangio. The reason I say 50% Mike McDaniel is because you are the head coach.
Right.
And basically, from what I saw, besides that bomb to Tyreek to make it, what was it? I forgot the score was.
It was like 10-7 at that point. It was really early in the game.
Yeah. Besides that one bomb touchdown, I said to Daniel, and once they scored that touchdown, I said they're not going to score until the fourth quarter. maybe not even score at all, and I was right. And from what I saw after that touchdown was just complete and utter nonsense on the offensive calling. Like it was just side slants, passes to the side, running up the middle, getting stuffed, no progression, no adjustments being made. Mike McDaniel looking like so as one dimensional as Tua does. It was just I was just like, bro, what is this team doing? Like you got Waddle, you got Tyreek, you got Mostert, you got Achan, you got Barrios. And let me tell you something about Barrios. They're not using him properly, bro. They're using him as a
Yeah,
punt returner or a kickoff returner. Bro, why are you doing that, bro? The guy has hands. He's got skills. He's played it in Hard Rock Stadium since college at UM. He knows
exactly.
he knows what it is.
I think it's
Why
more
aren't you using him as a receiver? Use him as a three. Have him
exactly.
at the wide receiver three spot. You got Waddle and you got Tyreek at the one. I don't understand what is so hard about using the guy. He's special. He's good.
Yeah, I mean they're using Craycraft more than him, really.
I don't understand what is going on with Mike McDaniel. He was supposed to be this savant, and as all I've seen now is him, excuse my language, or I'm gonna say, but like crap the bed when it comes to
Mhm.
teams over 500 or teams with a winning record. They're 1-6. They did beat the Cowboys on Christmas Eve, but the thing is, it wasn't even the offense. It was basically the kickers that basically won that game. So I wasn't even
Well,
impressed.
I mean, it's Jason Sanders though. Can we? You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
well,
That's one of the best players on the
but if
team.
Jason Sanders has to be the one to save you in that game, that says a lot about what's going on. So it's like I don't understand what happened because Vic Fangio in that Cowboys game had made adjustments. The Cowboys they went down the field and they scored, and then all of a sudden after that they were making adjustments. As you go, you can tell that they were making changes as the game went on. That's why the game was so close at the end.
Yeah, but that Cowboys game, we're talking about a whole different defense though compared to what we saw over this weekend. We're talking about Bradley Chubb is still healthy, Xavier Howard. I mean, I think Holland's even still there. You know what I mean? I mean, that's like a whole different personnel.
Now this is where I get into the other 25%. Tua. I would not this is his last year of his contract, right?
Mhm. Yep.
He's gonna have to prove it. These numbers, baloney, air, nothing. Because if you're gonna inflate your numbers when you play against these bad teams, but when you play against the good teams, you're like a little fart in the wind. You're nothing. You're just an afterthought. I need to see him really show me that he could be worth 35, 40 million a year. Because I'm sorry, like as of right now, I would take Dak Prescott over Tua. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. As bad as they played, both of them, Dak Prescott showed me more yesterday because he was willing to fight for that game, no matter what. Tua, I have not seen. Haven't you noticed? Like Tua's like I don't know what it is. His charisma, his attitude, the way he carries himself is not like okay. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna win this game for us. Get the hell out of my way. We're gonna go win this game. He doesn't show any leadership qualities on the field. He's being
Yeah.
just told what to do. And then okay, if I do it, do this, do that. Just follow orders.
What it would say, I think I think he does have a leadership in him, but I don't think he's got that dog in him. Well, I think that's what
He
you're trying
doesn't
to say.
have it.
Yeah.
And there's another thing. I'm tired of these bombs to Tyreek. I want to if you're gonna be the guy, if you're seriously the guy, you no matter what, if whoever's injured, whoever's what, you need to fight for it. And I haven't seen Tua also extend plays. You never see
Yeah.
him really extend plays. Like, can you imagine how good their offense would be if Tua would just you know, run a little bit more, get that, run the option and just get those
No,
extra
yeah.
2 yards.
No, I mean that's definitely a viable thing. Let alone McDaniel's at the end of like I think I don't know if it was right after that game or like some other media availability after the season ending, but he did say that one thing he wanted to work with was to extending the plays, add that onto his game. But
Bro, because
I mean, you're definitely right. I mean, there's definitely good points there. But what I would say though, in a sense of where the Dolphins are, and then the second option outside of that, I mean, the Dolphins are kind of stuck, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, there's no way you can go trade Tua with the Bears, or you go trade Tua to do something where it's like Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson comes in. Okay, how big does that really switch the scenario? You know what I mean? Like the Broncos can't win with Russell right now. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Here's what I would also say. I think the Dolphins need to make a change. And the change is, if you guys, this is out of the box. I think the Dolphins should go back to that old logo.
Yes.
Go back to the old logo.
See, that we can agree on. Get the retro jerseys back into the full form. Make the primary jersey.
They're a different team with that logo, bro. They looked tougher. They looked better. They represented the team that actually, was willing to compete, bro. That's just like simplified, damn, whatever it was. I'm just so frustrated with the Dolphins. Like, even though I'm not even a Dolphins fan that big, but I'm gonna finish off like this. If Tua doesn't improve this next season, like for real, and not choke the AFC East again to the Bills, because the Bills looking like they might keep Stephon Diggs right now. Yeah. If the season would have ended and then if they would have been eliminated from the playoffs, I think Stephon Diggs was headed to Dallas. I mean, the way they're looking now, they're looking at the AFC Championship game with the Ravens at the way he's looking right now. So I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, I totally agree.
Tua's right now on APB, and he's gonna be he should be lock and loaded, practicing from today to the start of next season, willing to at least win a playoff game or get to the AFC Championship game with these weapons. And this is also Tyreek Hill's last year, I think, in the contract too. If I'm correct.
He's already done. He's already done 2 seasons with the Miami Dolphins, and again, Tyreek Hill as well having a historic regular season, most receiving yards out of the entire NFL, and multiple Pro Bowlers on this Dolphins team. But season ending in the wild card, very short. But speaking of choking, I think we got to talk about it. I think we're going to talk about what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys, what's going on with the Packers.
Sorry, Daniel.
Jordan. Yeah, shout out Daniel. But what was going on? I didn't understand it. I was like, I work for the first half. I'm seeing, Packers are up 14-0. Oh, okay, so it's probably just a little spurt. No, 27-0. I'm like, what's going on here? Dak Prescott, pick 6 after pick 6, interceptions going on like crazy. The defense can't stop Jordan Love. I mean, I thought Jordan Love just had the Thanksgiving game. No, he's gotten the entire second half of the season and has been improving like crazy. They might be the biggest sleeper in the NFC. As I mentioned before, Packers winning it 48-32 in dominant fashion in Jerry's house over there in Dallas. But Jonka, I was curious, from out of all these games in the playoffs, what was kind of the one shocking game? Because there was a lot of shocking game and a lot of blowouts so far in these playoffs for the NFL.
Listen, when I sat down, got back from Publix, and I got back, the game started. And I was watching this game, and I had a feeling. If the Packers, they start off with the ball, if the Packers go down and score on this first drive, it might be over. I had a feeling. Because if the Cowboys start off, bro, he went down the field. It's not like they just scored a touchdown. It's the way they went down the field that Brandon.
Yeah,
is just they did whatever they wanted to. Oh, and looks like a Chris Godwin touchdown. They're gonna go up 20-something to. Okay, yeah, it looks looking like this Eagles game's bad, 24-9.
So, not looking good for that division, man. Not looking good for the NFC East. Not at all.
I don't know what else to say. I don't know what's going on with the Cowboys. The defense did not show up to play. It's just like, I think they just went into the game thinking that they were just going to roll over the Packers because, you're the 2. I think you're the 2 seed, and you have. I think are they 2 seed?
Yeah, I think it was because again and as big as it is, because with the new rules in the NFL for the past few years that they've been able with the wild card, this is the first ever loss that again, I believe so, 2 seed has taken
Yeah,
against the number 7 seed. So this is in historical fashion, an historical loss, in one way.
I just couldn't believe it, bro. Like no matter how many times Dallas scored a touchdown or field goal, no matter what, Jordan Love and the Packers had an answer. They just answered right back. Like, boom, bam, boom. Okay, you scored a touchdown. All right, let me show you how to do it. All right, back and forth, back. But it was that 27-0 lead that just opened it all up, bro. And then they even put like second string and third stringers in the fourth quarter. And then they saw that the Cowboys were actually making a run, and then they were trying to make it close by 2 scores, and then all of a sudden, you know what? Yeah, Jordan Love come back in for boom scores. I that I don't know what happened with Dan Quinn that game. Mike McCarthy. I'm shocked how he isn't fired yet.
Yeah. No, honestly, I'm really shocked how Bill Belichick hasn't been interviewed yet for that job, or at least considered, I
I
would
mean, he
say.
looks like he was in Atlanta, so
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But
I
before we
just
even go into that topic, let's just talk a little bit about the other games. Again, going through the AFC, let's go through it from yesterday with the Miami Dolphins. We're talking about Browns Texans. That one, well, my apologies, not yesterday, Saturday, but Browns Texans, yeah, 45-14. Joe Flacco, first ever wild card loss. The Texans taking it 45-14 in Houston. And then we also have from today's slate of games, Bills over Steelers 31-17. I mean, Josh Allen, he looks like Josh Allen football in the playoffs. He will now go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, and that will be a game hosted in Buffalo by the Buffalo Bills. So that'll be another Pat Mahomes versus Josh Allen. That'll be actually the first ever Mahomes road playoff game in his career, which is kind of weird to say that. I mean, let alone 2 Super Bowls. He haven't played a single playoff road game. So a lot of luck there. You probably didn't say that, but right now, all's well. Buccaneers in the NFC leading 25-9 over the Eagles with a minute remaining in the third. And then, of course, on the other side of it, Sunday, Packers over Cowboys. And then to me, I think the most emotional game out of the entire slate of wild card, Lions over the Rams. Matthew Stafford returning, but coming up short by a point, and the Lions are able to. Great game. And what was it like since 1991? They end a 30-plus year losing drought in the playoffs, never won a playoff game in that span. That ended yesterday, 24-23, Lions on top of the Rams. But, Jonka, because this has been, since we even started this episode, we've been talking about a little bit before here and there. Bill Belichick going around. He's like a free agent right now. This is the weirdest thing. I never think I'll ever see it in my lifetime. But, Jonka, you're a coach. Tell us a little bit about it. Former coach, but lifetime coach, I would say.
Yeah, you gotta be thankful for everything he's given the organization. Obviously, he did coach the 6 championships with Tom Brady. He did technically give up 3 to twice to Eli Manning and once to Nick Foles, out of all people. I think it could have been. I think if I'm not gonna get heated right now, but it's like I already said that I think it was mostly Tom Brady, and then Bill Belichick. I think it was a 70-30. I think it also just mixed well because Tom Brady, he had to work his way for that Michigan start. He's a workaholic, and he will work as hard just to achieve what he wants. And then once he got that opportunity in the Super Bowl, he took it and ran with it. Bill Belichick made the call. And like, I'm starting Tom Brady, and the rest is history, right? I mean, Bill Belichick probably made probably the best draft choice in history, and the best decision in Super Bowl history. but like overall, like it's after Tom Brady, like before Tom Brady, yeah, he did win a Super Bowls with the Browns, I think. But like as a head coach, he wasn't really winning anything to that point. And then now after Tom Brady left, went to the Buccaneers and won that year after that Bill Belichick forced him out and didn't want him anymore because he wanted to move to the future. And Tom Brady goes and wins the Buccaneers. he hasn't been the same. It was a playoff loss, and then we saw another missed playoffs, losing record. It wasn't looking good, and especially now this year with probably our worst record in I think over 3 decades.
Yeah.
It was bad, and I think we saw like yeah, you're not the same without Tom Brady, saving your butt. Technically, it's like, can you imagine this team this year with Tom Brady? How many they probably could have won 3 or 4 more games because I know the team was bad and it was banged up and everything, but
Yeah, but there was like 3 or 4 games where the opposing team didn't even score more than 10 points,
the
So,
defense
New
was doing
England,
good. So I'm saying,
absolutely. The defense was solid. Yeah, because I
and
remember,
then
especially,
yeah,
but I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say, especially talking about just the New England Patriots, the division of the AFC East, we were talking about such high hopes of the entire lot of them. From Jets all the way to Bills, Dolphins, Pats. We were talking about all of them could be easily winning teams.
I agree.
It was just I don't even know what to say. It was definitely all offense, I have to say, for the Pats, but
I think this coming season, next year, it's a long time from now. The Patriots did already hire Jared Mayo. I think he was the linebackers coach, so he has played for Bill Belichick. He knows the system. He works with the defense already, so I'm expecting the defense to already kind of stay the same. He's already been under Bill Belichick for years already, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm just hoping that he hires a good offensive coordinator. I don't know if they're gonna keep Bill O'Brien. We don't know yet. Hopefully, this coming draft they draft Marvin Harrison or Mike. If they want to move in a different direction than Mac Jones and Bailey Zapp, because let me. I was saying this early in the year. You guys were dogging on my boy Mac Jones. Let me say this for a second. He did good. Then he had some bad games. You know what? They benched him, right? They put in Bailey Zapp or Zappy, whatever you want to call him.
yeah, you have
He
the
didn't do
greatest
anything
helicopter
either.
there is.
He didn't do anything either. So, it just goes to show you it doesn't matter what the QB was doing. It was just bad overall. The offense was just terrible. For me personally, as a Patriots fan, if I'm Jared Mayo, I'm getting rid of Bill O'Brien. I'm gonna hire Ken Dorsey, who got let go by the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Let him work the offense because we saw what we could do in Buffalo. Make some good draft choices on the offense. I don't want to see any defense. I don't want to see any defense. Only offense because the defense as of right now is good. Christian Gonzalez is going to come back next season. You can and if you want, just draft offensive tackles because Patriots have I think the most cap space next season with over 60 million. You can pick up Mike Evans, who's a free agent, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, if you can somehow work that out.
True.
There's a lot of players that can be open for market or even for trade. And I think right now, Jared Mayo, he has the organization in his hands. Robert Kraft has it in his hands. So, Bill Belichick, I don't know where you're going to end up. I don't see him landing in Dallas. I know Daniel would love to see him in Dallas. But I think he's old already. Not old like he can't coach, but he's a senior guy already. I don't expect him to move with his wife to Texas when he lives in New England. I think he likes it up there. His wife is like, I don't want to move. It's too much trouble. I
Yeah.
think he might. I think with this, after the Eagles lose this game, I think Nick Sirianni is going to be fired. And New England and Philadelphia aren't that, and Philly, they're not that far apart. If I'm going to make a
Yeah.
move, because he's going to move eventually, he has to move.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't move to the closest area, and it's going to have to be Philly. Hey.
Yeah, because Sirianni, do you want to let go of Sirianni? Because I'm telling you, appearance in the Super Bowl, not a bad record during the regular season. I know how the end of the year looked like. We talk about choking, that entire situation in Philadelphia. in their hands dropped 7 weeks in advance. But I mean, there's a lot of options though. What I would say, I would love to see him in Dallas, just because I think that that's kind of a situation where it's like you can still compete at a high level without having to try to do a rebuild. Because if he goes to Atlanta, we're talking about draft class after draft class, developing players. Not saying he can't do that, but how long can he do it for? I think that's probably the biggest things right now in Bill Belichick and coaches like that, where you have to talk about how Pete Carroll got let go and parted ways with the Seahawks. How old can these guys come into the league and dominate in a new environment? Again, Bill Belichick, obviously, with the Patriots for a long time, but the NFC South, all those teams, they're like ticking time bombs. They can reset every single year. They can go off every single year.
And the reason I know we just got word from Adam Schefter that he did finish his interview with the Falcons. But the thing is, on the flip side of me saying that I don't see him in the Cowboys, there's another side of me that says I could see it also, because Jerry Jones does like Bill Belichick. He's a winning, he could win with a system. He's got a good defense already. Imagine Bill Belichick with when Trevon Diggs comes back, with Micah Parsons, and this new draft coming up now. He can do what he wants. They're gonna have to listen to him, because the organization as of right now is a losing organization. Well, not like in the playoffs, but like
so it's not a post.
It hasn't been the same. It wants to be prosperous again. So if I'm gonna say that, I think Jerry Jones might throw him a bag. I don't know if he's gonna be influenced by money, but if I were Jerry Jones, I wouldn't. You could offer him the money, but I would offer him, hey, listen, we will move you personally. We will handle all the moving, all the everything to Dallas, and we will handle everything. You don't have to lift a finger. You just come be the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. If that were to happen and he agrees, I would say watch out for the Dallas Cowboys. I would say that, because their defense would be legit. I don't know what happened with Dan Quinn. Maybe Dan Quinn can maybe go back to Atlanta. I don't know. Maybe he'll be the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, because I know we're going to talk about college, but Jim Harbaugh did interview with the Chargers recently. Supposedly he might not stay in Michigan.
Yeah.
So big news, big moves.
Yeah, I mean, that's also another thing, because I just can't imagine. But I just can't imagine Jim.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just can't imagine Jim making that move though. Like, leaving Michigan that soon after a national championship. The man is literally Michigan. He is the state of like Michigan. There's no other way I can say he's a Wolverine at heart.
And I know I don't know if we're gonna get into college, but if he were to, let's say he were to leave Michigan and go to the NFL, back to the NFL technically, I think the entire landscape of college football would change.
Yeah. It would change. I mean, it's already changing as we speak, because I mean, this will be the last thing we talk about for football, college ball, whatever it is. But we got to talk about it. Nick Saban retiring after a reign of 14 years in the Crimson Tide in the Alabama. I mean, for me personally, as a Gator, this is probably the best news I've had all week.
Hey,
I should have started off the podcast. I should have started the podcast with best news. Nick Saban finally getting out of the SEC. But it's true, though. Nick Saban retiring after 14 years, not really according to, had a full-blown 25-minute interview with, I believe, Reese Davis of ESPN Game Day for, it was like an exclusive that only they had. I wish they had kind of a press conference afterwards for Bama, but they decided, I don't know how ESPN got it, but he talked about, we're not very ill, anything like that. There's no illness in the family. It's just about, how long can we keep on going with this progress? How long can we be successful at a pace that was something that Nick was used to years back? And same thing as I was saying before about Belichick. How long can they do it? For Nick Saban, he decided this was the year to do that. It's a big move in college football. The landscape does change, especially, let alone coaching changes, the playoff format changes, conferences are changing. The SEC adds in 2 more in Texas as well as Oklahoma. It's going to be a whole new landscape for the SEC and the Alabama Crimson Tide going forward with their new coach, which unfortunately I forgot how to pronounce his last name, the head coach from Washington. What is it? Dubers?
Yeah, I struggled too.
Yeah, I struggle with that one too. But either way, though, he is a winning coach, has a record that's well above 600%. I think it's a good move. Honestly, kind of shocked it lasted less than 24 hours, but it's a great move. I'm just glad they didn't get Dabo Sweeney because if they got Dabo, every single Alabama fan, and again, I'm not a Crimson fan, anything like that, every Alabama fan would have been in the middle of the 50-yard line, burning away every single Alabama gear they got.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I don't know if you saw it. Did you saw the because we're gonna about get into a similar topic, but you saw the statue of Nick Saban?
I have not yet.
Not yet. Oh, it's like he died. I kid you not. They got flowers around. They got signs saying "You have served." It's ridiculous. They got like little Debbie pies, which I'm guessing is like his favorite treat. A little Debbie pies and Coke bottles everywhere around it. Yeah, they're acting like he passed away. It's ridiculous, but that is what Nick Saban is to Alabama and to college football. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm happy. I put it on my Instagram. If you follow me, John Don't Stop. But I said once the news came out, I was like, boom, posted on my story, and then finally at the bottom, I was like, bro, because I've been waiting for this day, man. And then also because you were saying about how fast they were able to find a replacement. I think they had to do that because I don't know if you've been noticing on the Twitter and I follow the recruiting for college football a lot, but a lot of the Alabama players have been leaving, entering the transfer portal because the recruits from coming into next season are decommitting because like, hey, I came to play for Saban and not for you.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if your scheme fits what I want to do and this and that. And so there's a lot of decommitments going on. And I think they wanted to sign a head coach really fast so that there's no like, oh, what's taking so long for this head coach? Like, hey, this is going to be a problem. They didn't want to like shock everybody. So I'm assuming, as of recruiting wise, I can understand why they hired it quickly and efficiently. Yeah. But I respect them. You're a winner. Like I can't. As much as I hate the Tide too, you can't hate on the guy. Like, but yeah, it's don't roll Tide. I think Alabama is gonna be. They're still gonna be good, but I don't see him as gonna be good because Nick Saban is a great coach. What I think the coach that's for Alabama right now was for Washington, correct?
Yep.
And he did good this year, but like they were only relevant this year. It's like if Harbaugh left last year and then the coach for TCU got his job. It's like, yeah, you're like a one and done kind of thing. Like Michigan, well, I'm gonna say TCU was not relevant, and then now the Washington Huskies are going to be irrelevant after this year.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't sleep on the Huskies just yet, though. I mean, again, they are losing a lot, though. I mean, the transfer is eating them alive, and now they have to go play in the Big Ten. So hard to get out of that one.
The reason I say they're going to struggle. This is why I say when teams lose a big, a big quarterback or a big time staff member, is because once you lose I've known this. When a team, like, let's say for UM, right? Let's say we have the greatest quarterback as of right now for college football. Let's say for example, he enters the draft, and then the quarterback that we have as a replacement isn't as good, and now our performance tanked, and then like, damn, bro, like UM fell off. It's like we've seen, if you don't have a quarterback in college football, you will not have a good season. You will not have a good season. Like, you will not make the playoffs. Let's put that as that way.
Yeah.
So Washington losing Michael Penix is a hit. And can you tell me what was the last quarterback from Washington that you can even think of?
Honestly, I'm not a Pac-12 guy. I
I don't know.
can't
Even
even
for
tell you that
TCU.
one.
What about TCU?
TCU, I mean, Druggan. Besides that, no, hold up. They had hold up. How did I forget this guy? The guy that was in the NFL, red hair, Cincinnati Bengal for a long time.
Oh,
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. He's for TCU?
TCU guy. Yep, TCU guy. That's I know. I not even. How did I forget that in the back of my head?
Okay, now take that. Take Andy Dalton from when he played till now. It's been a long road, at the bottom. They finally find the quarterback, and now they're back at the top. They even though they lost, but they did make the championship.
Yep,
So that's why I'm saying if you can't find the quarterback, then it's going to be a fall off.
that is
And
true.
a lot of schools are losing quarterbacks as of this coming draft. But
No, yeah. I mean, a lot of things going in the transfer portal, but I mean, as we leave the conversation, as again, goodbye, Nick Saban, a Dolphin great head coach. But let's go into another Miami great, Dwayne Wade. To start off this podcast saying that was the best thing I saw all week, it definitely was. Dwayne Wade definitely is, I'm not going to say a top 5 shooting guard all time. Not going to say anything where it's like comparing with this and that. But he is Miami basketball. He is Heat culture. He is what everyone should assume comes from a Heat player. And for Dwayne Wade to have that honor as the first one to be erected into a statue out there on Biscayne Boulevard, it's the best thing I can feel. It's the best thing emotionally. I think this is a great move. I think that this is not gonna say they're gonna have out of nowhere Shaquille O'Neal and LeBron James come out of nowhere with statues soon, but honestly, I love this move. Jonka, what are your thoughts about this one? And do you see, like, in the future, maybe another statue coming up? Maybe a LeBron James coming up out of nowhere?
I would die if LeBron had a statue here. I don't know if you know, maybe I haven't said it on the podcast, but I didn't like the way he went out from Miami. I didn't mind him leaving. He could have left, but it's the way he left that kind of ached me the wrong way. Like, you lose to OKC. No, you lose to the Mavericks. You choke that series. You go on to next year and you beat OKC, and then you go on to beat Spurs. Great series, by the way.
Yep.
You know, and then the last year you get beaten by a record finals margin, and you get obliterated by the Spurs again. By the way, because he did play with the Cavs and before that, and got swept. And then the thing with what icked me off is that damn, you would think you lose that bad, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do this one more year. One more year. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay with the Heat, and we're gonna fight this out just to try to get one more, and not lose like that. Go out like that, bro. Come on, like there's some you have to have as a guy or as a male, bro. You gotta have some sort of pride after losing like that, and then all of a sudden you just decide to dip. Nah, I'm sorry. And then what it me off even more was before he even decides to go to Cleveland with Kyrie and Kevin Love, he decides. It was Kentucky versus UConn in the March Madness final, and I forgot his name. He was the point guard. Do you remember what he we?
What year was it?
Oh my God! It was 2014, 2015.
Well, what I would say, though, because
Well, well, whatever. He plays well. He's like, damn, this guy's going off, right? We should get him. I want him as my point guard for next year because I think Mario Chalmers or Neros Cole was going to get a big contract, and so they weren't able to keep him. So they say, I want this guy. I want this guy. So he decides, okay, the Heat spent their draft pick, first round draft pick, by the way, for this guy. And then after they draft him, then LeBron decides to go to the Cavs. So he kind of effed us over on a draft pick with a point guard, We're supposed to replace you with a point guard with no experience. And so, and let's go.
Yeah, I didn't want to stop you there. That was good. It was good. But yeah, so definitely no LeBron statue, I'm guessing. So no LeBron statue coming up. But for Dwayne Wade, though, Hall of Fame career now being solidified with a statue. Maybe Alonzo Mourning, maybe Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not too. Maybe a Ring of Honor. Hopefully better than what the Bulls happen. Because with having the Bulls Ring of Honor, I don't know if you heard about it, Jonka. Terrible.
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Yeah, disgraceful. But let's just jump into our next topic here. Running out of time here before we hit the top of the hour.
Before that,
yeah, go ahead.
What position should they put Dwayne Wade's body? Like, the house or the dunk over Verjao, or like
I'm thinking the My House one. Have him right there in front, scores table, hands like this.
It would be
looking to the cloud. I think I'll be poetic. It'll be poetic, man. But into the next topic though. You're Inter Miami, and we got something else that's not related to Messi, though. I mean, they just recently went back into training. Messi and everyone in the crew, Busquets, but a new face now. Luis Suarez, an old Barca friend, a guy who is honestly, for me, one of my favorite ones out of La Liga in the past few years. And then now he comes, I believe he was playing in his boyhood club in his home country, Uruguay, and then now he's back in the professional spectrum, now with the MLS. Inter Miami is very competitive. I love the move. I mean, it's going to be Barca, North America, obviously. But the best part about it, the way that Inter Miami is, showing him that he's ready to compete. He understands the level that it's going to be, in his own words, similar to La Liga, but not the same, like players being like the same level of talent.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. The big four, Busquets, Messi, Suarez, and I love to say Leo Campana.
Oh,
Campana is gonna have a year. That's what I think. Especially with Suarez out there, it's gonna feed off each other. I think this is gonna be a great move for everyone. But Jonko, what are your thoughts about this?
I'm low-key kind of excited. I know this is gonna be short-lived because they're not gonna be here for that long. But I'm excited for Luis Suarez because he is one of the best in the world. When he was fit, when he was like at his peak, but he still's got that skills. He still played at the highest level. He's like great friends with Messi. They have the connection. And then, with Busquets and Alba, and then like you say Campana, I think Kramashi is gonna have a big year, and Campana, and then also I think supposedly they're working to get either Modric or Rakitic. I prefer Rakitic because he's a bit younger, but Modric would be nice too.
Yeah.
This team would be nice. I know we also got a new player. What's his name? I'm sorry if I mess it up. Where is it?
I believe from Austin FC, or was it the Portland Timbers?
Yeah, Julian Gressel.
Yeah, Gressel. Yeah,
from Columbus. Which I think, yeah.
So I was way off, but then again, a recent champion from Columbus Crew.
So I'm a little bit excited. I kind of think that they do need a little bit better defensive players in the back, but overall, we still got what's his name, the goalie?
No Calendar, Drake Calendar.
Yeah, Drake Calendar. Hey, if he's still there, we got a chance. Messi's gonna continue to ball out as he does. Suarez with his new offense that he's gonna bring, he knows what he has to do with Messi. Messi, they got that stuff. They got it down, bro. And now with Kramashi and Campana, mix that in with somebody in the middle, whoever they want to put, Alba or Busquets, maybe Gressel.
Hey, Taylor's still there, man.
Oh yeah, Robert Taylor
had a hell of a year in the second half of this season, and honestly, that's another thing because I think with Busquets and Taylor, both those guys can be assist galore throughout the entire year. I mean, I'm really excited. I think offensively, this is going to be a firehouse team, but defense is usually the wrong part about Inter Miami, especially at the end of the year where you have to look for, pushing for the playoffs, and Messi's unable to make the roster because of injuries and also international play. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
I'm I'm not worried about the offense because I think the offense is so the ceiling is so high that I think they're gonna be able to score multiple goals a game. And I just want the defense. If they could just settle the defense or get some sort of players that can handle the defense better, I think they can hold off teams and be able to score. And plus, Messi almost took this team to the playoffs,
Yeah.
and it was only the second half of the season, and we were at the lowest of the low.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just imagine if with Messi with the whole season, we should be making the playoffs, bro? Like
We should be top 5 in the East. To me, I think with this roster, this is a top 5 roster in the East. In the
especially
MLS.
with that stupid tournaments that screwed us over, and Messi had to go play for Argentina, and I'm just like, bro, no one cares, man. Like, get us to the playoffs. We could have done something in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at least say we won the League's Cup. Can't even complain about that. First ever trophy in franchise history.
Yeah.
But again, Luis Suarez joining Inter Miami for this upcoming 2024 season, joining his old friends of Jordi Alba, Busquets, and of course, Lionel Messi. They're all starting practice and training right now in Fort Lauderdale. So a lot of things going on Commercial Boulevard and a lot of things in South Florida. But Jonka, our last 4 minutes on the pod. Baseball's been going on in the offseason. I know Yankees making a lot of moves. I know things are going on with the Dodgers, but the Miami Marlins offseason so far, how would you grade it? And
F.
what is the biggest F?
The fattest F. You know what, Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents, Mr. Clocker, F in your face.
But why so?
God, fraud. The owner needs to sell the team because he's a cheap bastard. That's why I forgot. Excuse her name, Chun or something. That she came in as the manager or like the president or something of operations.
No,
For the
yeah,
Marlins.
the former GM.
Yeah,
Yes.
she came in. She did a great job. I thought it was like an hire, but she proved me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And she did great. She brought in Arias. She brought in a bunch of other pieces. The Marlins did great. They just need a little bit more improvement in the pitching side, and a little bit better and a little bit more consistent hitting from everybody else besides Arias. But I'm disgusted. I'm just disgusted. Like, you just lost Sandy Alcantara for the year. I think he's getting Tommy John surgery, I think, if I'm correct.
Yep.
So you're not gonna have him this coming season. Bro, there's plenty of star pitchers right now. Example, what's his name? From the Padres, Cody Snell I don't know, something. Whatever, Snell. Pitcher Snell.
Yeah.
He just won the Cy Young Award. The Yankees are trying to get him, but he's asking for a bit of money, and the Yankees are trying to work their way around their system. Like, hey, spend some money, even if it's for a year or two, bro. Like, okay, we'll offer $50 million for 2 years, and you have the option for next year to opt out if you want, or something, bro, to replace Alcantara for just for the meantime, and you have a good starting pitcher, man. Like, and they might lose Lazardo, they might lose Soler, they might lose Arias. Supposedly, all these players, the entire damn team is up for grabs because I don't know why. I don't know why they even released that statement. Like, at this point, if they're gonna do this to the taxpayer money because we did pay for that stadium. At this point, I would like for them to sell the team, make them play at Hard Rock, and then give that stadium to UM and make the Orange Bowl again.
I mean, I'm all for it, though. Again, love the Orange Bowl, love the old Miami stuff, but I mean, Miami Open, F1, Rolling Loud, Dolphins, Hurricane games, and Miami Marlins baseball.
They would have to switch. The Hurricanes and the Marlins would have to switch.
Oh yeah, Hurricanes and Marlins switch, but that's still a lot going on in one place at Hard Rock Stadium, though. Not saying they can't do it. I'm pretty sure Mr. Ross is able to do it with Stephen Ross, the owner of everything over there. But besides that, so an F grade from the Marlins.
Not just an F, super F. Major
Super
F.
F. My apologies. Major F. Hopefully Soler stays. That's the one thing. I need that Cuban power in South Florida. I need that home run hitting in South
Another thing
Florida.
about the Marlins, like what they if you can't recruit in for the league, you're in Miami, bro. Miami, the legit the melting pot of every single nation in the world is here in one city. You mean to tell me that you cannot send recruiters to Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Colombia with these top tier talents and prospects? You cannot bring them over here, offer him a contract, and hopefully you bring these players up, and maybe you could trade one of them for some pieces that you need, and make hopefully build this team up from the ground up. But like every damn year, you have a good year like last year, and then you just toss it away and willing to give up everything for what? This
Yeah.
owner is needs to be let go. The commissioners of Miami-Dade County have to legit get with this guy and ask him, yo, what are you doing? This guy's not willing to spend any money. That's probably why the lady left, because she wanted more money, and she couldn't buy anybody because
Yeah. Let alone
the guy's a cheap bastard.
Yeah, let alone her own position as a higher, really a higher chair in the franchise. But I know that it did get a guy recently that was part of the front office position of the Tampa Bay Rays when the Rays did go to the World Series and appeared that one year. But the Miami Marlins, again, a lot of people on the table, a lot of things going on, and a lot at risk. I mean, of course, Jock is saying for the past 3 minutes here, F grade, major F grade. But there's a lot of time left. And of course, with everything that does happen, we're always happy to report it here on Plug Talk Sports every single Monday, such as this one. We're going to be wrapping up the first episode of 2024. Thank you guys for joining in for this episode. We'll be back next Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you guys then, and we hope you have a good week.
Support the troops. Remember that.